Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel ForexPnL, where we focus on making big profits and small losses. Today is the 21st of August 2021. It's Saturday and time for me to do my weekend analysis for the upcoming week. Without any further delays, guys, let's go into the charts. I'm going to be kicking things off today with British pounds and US dollar. All right, the cable. What do we have here? Well, on the weekly time frame, I actually have a trade right now on this one, though it's pretty close to my stop loss. All right, but anyways. I spotted this nice move here with this pin bar and the bullish candle that followed up. So to me, this was a nice bounce, and then the markets pushed to the downside. Okay, I decided to go long somewhere right around this area, but you can see the markets are still trickling to the downside. So well, my stops are somewhere right around here. If the market gets there next week, then I'll be out of this market. Okay, till then. All right, but in terms of analysis for the week, you can see last week actually closed a very nice bearish candle, okay, deep into that demand zone that we have on the weekly time frame. So well, anything is possible. You can see the market has not really been doing much of recent, okay. We've just been pretty much ranging. All right, so let's see what happens. Do we get a continuation to the upside from here? All right, do we get the markets to give us a nice push to the upside from here? Or would the market finally break out of this whole consolidation area for us to get another nice push to the downside? Only time can tell. Nobody knows what is going to happen, okay? But as far as I'm concerned, well, right now, I'm actually in a long trade. Hopefully, this low is going to hold. And from here, let's say anywhere from right around here, maybe the markets might find a way to start pushing again to the upside for further continuations to the upside. Who knows? All right, so that's what I'm seeing from the weekly time frame. If we go into the daily time frame, not much, okay. If we go actually in the daily time frame, you notice that what's been actually happening here is price actually dipped into this supply zone that we have right here in the daily time frame, and you can see that from there, after that dip in, the markets rejected, and we are going another push to the downside. Okay, so well, let's see how that goes. That move is obviously gone, so I'm not going to waste my time talking about that one. But now, if we zoom into the 4 hours time frame, we begin to see levels that are forming on our charts. Okay, you see the supply zone that we have right here. Okay, the supply zone break of structure. So well, I'll be keeping an eye on this for next week. If we do get any push into this area, okay, maybe right around 1.3750 institutional price level, any reversals from right around there, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. So that's basically what I mean. All right, if that happens, well, I'm going to be taking a short position to ride this thing to the downside. But again, I'm currently long in these markets from right around this area, okay, from right around where I have the supply zone. Okay, so let's see how this goes. All right, so next up is going to be Euro-US dollar. Now, looking into the weekly time frame of the Euro-US dollar, well, price right now has last week we succeeded in taking off this level, okay, this low right here. But notice how the markets rushed back to close the markets just right around that area. Okay, we also have these areas right here to the left. To be honest with you, from a longer perspective, it's kind of hard to tell what this market wants to do. I would like either a very nice push off of this area, okay, taking off this whole consolidation that we have building up in this area. That would be my buy, the best situation for me to start saying, okay, yes, we are now going back to the upside. Or for the downside, maybe a clear break of this level would also be important. Okay, maybe if we can get a break to the downside from here, then pullbacks, we can start searching for short opportunities. That being said, also, when that happens, you want to start keeping an eye on this demand zone. So from a longer perspective, honestly, guys, it's kind of hard to say where this market is going to be going. All right, but these are kind of the potential possibilities that we have on Euro-US dollar. All right, now going into the daily time frame, not much has been going on here. In the 4 hours time frame, well, we have this supply zone, pretty large supply zone, to be honest with you. We had this clear level of support area, finally a nice break to the downside. You can see we've gotten a very small push into that area, and well, another push to the downside, followed by another nice bullish move, okay, from where the market is reacting right now. Now, because of the size of this supply zone, I'm probably going to I would love to see maybe price to give me a push into this area, okay, deep into the supply zone, and then from there, any reversals from here, that will be green lights for me to start searching for bearish continuation moves, all right, to the downside. So that's basically it for Euro-US dollar. Now, next up is US dollar, Canadian dollar. Looking into the weekly time frame, okay. Well, this one actually scored a very nice win this week on this particular pair from a trade that I took on the daily time frame. But again, looking into the weekly time frame, you'll notice that, well, the market is now waxing stronger to the upside, okay. If you remember, I was keeping an eye on a supply zone that we had in this area right here, okay, in this area. Well, from here you notice that now with the close that we got this week above this pin bar, above the high of this pin bar, okay, that's almost like an indication that the bulls are in this market, at least at the moment, with the current price action that we're seeing, okay. So, well, I'm not looking for any trades from a weekly perspective. You notice that price basically ran into this supply zone that we have right here on the weekly time frame right here. That's basically what the market is reacting off of right now. But in my own opinion, that's a very high supply zone that I'm not interested in trading, even if the market is to take off again to the downside. What I would love to see personally is for price to give us for that supply zone to be strong enough to give us a reaction to the downside, deep into the demand zones that we have on the daily time frame area, and then from here I would like to see continuation moves to the upside. That's what I would like to see in US dollar, Canadian dollar, at least from the longer time frame. Now, looking into the daily time frame, obviously we have this very nice demand zone, okay, that led to the break of this level of structure, okay. Price has given us a nice push to the upside. Well, what I would love to see right now is for price to give me some push to the downside, okay. Being that this is the daily time frame, if we get any push into this daily demand zone, I would like to see a reversal to the content for further continuations to the upside. All right, that's basically my game plan from the daily. Now, from the 4 hours time frame, right now you can see we actually have a demand zone. Price basically closed the week inside this demand zone, so anything can happen. The markets can continue to the upside from here, okay, respecting this demand zone, and or we can get a break and then a continuation deep into this 4 hours demand zone that I have mapped out here. If we do get any reversals from here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. It's that simple. So next up is Australian dollar, US dollar. Well, in this particular pair, what do we have? On the daily time frame, we have very clear downwards trending markets. You can see how we have lower highs and lower lows, which is indicative of a downtrend. And in that process, you can see we've now gotten a break of this level of structure to the downside right here, and creating this supply zone in the process. So from a daily time frame, I would like to see price give me a push into this supply zone that we have right here. Any reversals from right around here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. Now, before getting to that level, if you zoom into the 4 hours time frame, we also have a supply zone right here. From the 4 hours time frame, I would like to see price give me a push into this supply zone. If we from here get reversals, I would like to see a potential opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. All right, now that being said, if you look into the hourly time frame as well, you see that we have a supply zone as well, because this market has just been trending to the downside. So you notice how price has given us a little reaction off of that supply zone already, right around 0.7150 institutional price level, right? So from here, you never know what can happen. It depends on how the market opens. If we begin to get pushed from this level down, to the downside, that's also a possibility, because this is a supply zone. You cannot discount that. We had a consolidation, break to the downside, see how market pull back to retest it, further push to the downside, another full swing, pull back to retest it, and we are still getting the bears in the market. So you never know what's going to happen, but because of the timing, this is going to be happening around the open markets open. So I'm not too interested in taking this particular trade, but I just want to show you what I'm seeing on my charts. Okay, so well, from here, this can easily be respected and the markets can just continue to shoot to the downside. But what I personally would love to see is a situation whereby this doesn't get respected, and then from here we begin to get the markets pushing it to the upside into this 4 hours supply zone, and then anywhere from right around here reversals, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. That's going to be my game plan for Australian dollar, US dollar. Now, Euro Australian dollar, what are we seeing here? If we go into the daily time frame, well, I was actually, if you guys remember, I think about 2 weeks ago, I was waiting for price to give me a push into this particular demand zone that we had here. All right, price came pretty close, didn't quite get there, and then from there you can see the market has given us a full swing reversal, and well, I never got a chance to get in on that particular trade. Now, in the process of creating that move to the upside, we've broken structure to the upside, and in the process creating this demand zone. So I'll be keeping an eye on this, and from a daily perspective, if we do get a push into this area, any reverse from here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. Now, looking into the 4 hours time frame, we also have significant demand zones that have formed in our charts right here. So just as usual, if we get any push into this area, I'll be looking for reversals for further continuations to the upside. That's going to be my game plan for Euro Australian dollar going into next week. All right, next up, Euro Yen. Now, this one is not looking nice from the weekly time frame, okay? This is a very weak demand zone at the moment because, well, you can see we've gotten that spike below the demand zone. We have traded within that demand zone for a very long time. Just see the number of candles that have traded inside that demand zone. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for the past 7 weeks, price has been trading inside this particular demand zone. So this is not a very strong demand zone right now. That being said, it is still a demand zone. We are yet to get price to clearly break that area. All right. So, well, next week is going to be a very key week in my opinion. Okay. Should the market open next week and we get a very nice push to the downside, clearly closing below this particular demand zone, then that will be an indication that this demand zone has now been violated and we will start searching for short opportunities. Okay, keep in mind we also have areas that markets can easily tap into to the left. So, well, let's see how it goes, but I'm just saying that at this particular moment, the market is still bullish, at least from a weekly perspective, because we are still trading above this particular, inside this particular demand zone. All right, so let's see how it goes from a weekly perspective. For the bulls to show that they are in control in this market, what I would personally love to see is for the markets to give me an open and then from here close this week a very nice solid bullish candle. If that happens, that will be an indication that all of this is just manipulation, okay, to grab liquidity below this lows that we have in this area, and then for the markets to continue on its way again back to the upside. Okay, that's going to be my game plan from a weekly perspective. Now, looking into the daily time frame, what do we have? We now have a supply zone that has formed inside that weekly demand zone. All right, so, well, if we do get any moves from here into this area and then we get reversals from here, I will also be looking for opportunities to go shorts, okay, towards this previous swing low. It's that simple, okay? I just go with the flow of what the market is giving me at any given point in time. All right, now the 4 hours time frame, what do we have here? Also a very nice supply zone in this area. We had this little consolidation, and finally from here the markets, pushed to the downside, clearly breaking below these lows. All right, so now price has given us a pullback into that supply zone area right around 128.50 area, and from there you can see we are slowly bouncing off. So maybe we might get another push to the upside into that area, but if we do get any reversals from here, that is also a very valid opportunity for us to be searching for short opportunities for further continuations to the downside. Nobody knows what the market is going to do, so we're just going to go based on what the information that the market is presenting us with. All right, now next up, British pounds and Swiss francs. What do we have here from the 4 hours time frame? Notice how this market has been falling, okay, clearly pushing to the downside. Now we got a very nice push to the upside into this supply zone. Well, this was one that I was keeping an eye on during the week, to be honest with you. I kept an eye on this particular level, but I didn't quite get the kind of entry that I would love to see. I was looking to go short in this area, but you can see that this candle was just a one-way traffic to the downside. There was no pullbacks whatsoever for me to get in on this particular trade. So, well, I just let it go, okay, on to the next one. But notice how that market has now pushed to the downside, clearly breaking below this level of structure that we have here, level of support. So, well, this supply zone has been created. From a 4 hours time frame, if we get any push into this area and reversals from that area, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go shorts for further continuations to the downside. Now, that's basically it. From the hourly time frame, you will also notice that we have a very nice supply zone in the area. So again, it all depends on how the market opens, okay? If we do get a push into this area, the earliest that I personally will take a trade is going to be London open on Monday. So if this happens and from here, we get a reversal around London, then I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short. If not, and then, you know, if this happens just within the market's open, I'm not going to be interested in this particular trade. But it's just important that we know that this is obviously a supply zone and this is another supply zone, actually the one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Now, next up is going to be Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. What do we have here? Well, this is another yen cross, very weak demand zone on the weekly time frame. You can see this demand zone here. We dipped in and closed this candle a pin bar. At this point, in my own opinion, this was just markets grabbing liquidity inside this demand zone. But you can see again, we had a nice push to the downside, manipulating below these lows right here, okay? But notice how the candle also closed above the low of this particular demand zone. Okay, so next week again is going to be key. If the market continues to push the downside, that would violate this level, and then from there that will be green lights for me to start searching for short opportunities for further continuations to the downside. But in the event that this week opens and we get a very nice bullish candle off of this area, then that will confirm that this move to the downside that we had this week is just going to a manipulation, okay, below these lows to grab liquidity for further continuations to the upside. So let's see how it goes, okay? But this is going to be my game plan at the moment. It's looking like a weak demand zone based on the amount of data that we have. But next week will also be very, very important, because if we get a bounce, then I'll be looking for a nice opportunity to start searching for long opportunities for further continuations to the upside. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Now, looking into the daily time frame, not much. Okay, in the 4 hours time frame, we have this supply zone right here that I'm also keeping an eye on right here. Okay, you can see the break of this level of structure creating the supply zone. So from this time frame, any push into this area, I'll be looking for reversals. If we do get that, I'll be going shorts for further continuations to the downside. All right, next up is going to be British pounds, Japanese yen. Looking into the longer time frame, another yen cross with a very weak demand zone on the weekly. So the theme here is pretty similar. Okay, the yen crosses are trading in a demand zone on the weekly time frame. However, that weekly time frame, that demand zone is pretty weak based on the price action that we are seeing right here. Okay, so zooming into the smaller time frame here, in the 4 hours time frame, we have also another nice supply zone that has formed as a result of this break of structure. And well, let's see how it goes. I would love to see price give me a nice push into this area. Any reversals from here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. Okay, again, as usual guys, if this does not happen, because we don't know where the market is going to open, the market can easily open and just continue to shoot to the downside. So when that happens guys, I'm going to be updating the levels that I'm keeping an eye on, okay, in the Telegram channel, and any potential trading opportunities that I see. Okay, so that's also a good reason for you to, you know, probably join the Telegram channel if you are interested. Okay, it's a voluntary activity. If you are interested, it will be a very nice opportunity for you to kind of keep up with the levels that I'm keeping an eye on. All right, okay, so that's basically what I'm seeing right now on my charts from in British pounds, some Japanese yen. Now, next up is Australian dollar, Swiss francs. Not much to say here. Very nice move to the downside. Okay, what I would love to see right now is for price to give me a very nice push into this area. Okay, in the 4 hours time frame, if we get reversals from here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. It's that simple. If the market opens from here and we continue to shoot to the downside, I'm going to be reanalyzing to pay attention to newly forming supply zones that I have on my charts. All right, next up is going to be Australian dollar, Japanese yen. What do we have here? Well, if we zoom into the 4 hours time frame, pretty similar to the Australian dollar Swiss francs pair. From this time frame, I would love to see price give me a dip into the supply zone area. Any reversals from there, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go shorts for further continuations to the downside. Again, similar to the other Aussie crosses, you notice that we also have a supply zone on the hourly time frame, okay, right around this area, and you can see the market is already reacting. In this particular case, we are looking at 78.50 institutional price level. Okay, so well, what happens if from here, obviously the market continue to push to the downside? That's also a supply zone, but most likely not going to be a trade that I would take. What I would love to see personally is for price to give me a break above this area, okay, and then from here give me that push into the supply zone that we have on the 4 hours, and then from there I would love to trade reversals for further continuations to the downside. Okay, that's going to be my preferred move in this particular pair. All right, next up, Euro New Zealand. I'm not gonna waste time on this one. It's not been the prettiest charts, to be honest. Notice how we got all these huge wicks. Okay, we got all these wicks to the up and to the downside. That's not a very clean price action, but regardless, this is also a valid demand zone that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, okay, to see if we get price to dip into this area. Any reversals from here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, next up, Euro Canadian dollar. This pair moved pretty well to the upside this week. If you guys remember, last week, or actually about 2 weeks ago, I took a long, expecting that this was going to be the low. Okay, expecting that this was the low, I took a long somewhere here, anticipating this nice move to the upside. Well, you can see that that level was run, grab liquidity from below it, and then before that move happened. Okay, that's part of trading. I can't control it. I don't move the markets. I just trade based on the amount of information that I have on my charts. Okay, to be honest with you guys, the past 2 weeks or so has not been the best for me in terms of trading. Haven't had the best results. That I haven't had the kind of results that I would love to see. If you guys are part of the Telegram channel, you probably can attest to that. But well, that's part of trading. You have to find a way to create that mental strength to be able to push through your drawdowns, and then when the coast is clear, when the winds come back, you'll be able to make up those losses and more, and get into more profits. Okay, that's basically how the markets, that's the way I see the markets. Okay, all right, so back to this Euro Canadian dollar. What do we have right here? Looking into the 4 hours time frame, what do we have? We have this demand zone that was created in this area. So from this time frame, I would love to see price give me a push into this area, and then anywhere from here, any reversals, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, now that being said, we also have a demand zone in the in this area. Okay, you can actually see that it's a demand zone in the hourly time frame, but at the same time, it's also a demand zone on the 4 hours time frame, and you can see how the markets reacted off of it on Friday. All right, looking into the hourly time frame, it becomes even clearer. You can see how price dipped into that area, gave us that rejection, and you see it right now. It's as if we're going to get another visit. So let's see how it goes. Do we get a reversal from here? If that happens, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long. But like I said, if it breaks, then I would like to see price give me a push into this demand zone that I have on the 4 hours time frame, and then any reversals from here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, that's basically my game plan for Euro Canadian dollar, Swiss francs. What do we have here? Looking into the daily time frame, actually from the weekly time frame, what do we have? You notice that price actually is now trading right around a trend line area that we have on the weekly. Okay, you can see this trend line that we have here. You can see this level of structure around this area right here. You can see it got broken by this move, creating this demand zone. So this is a very solid demand zone area in Canadian dollar Swiss francs. Okay, also now we have a trend line around that area, so I won't be surprised for price to give us a run into this demand zone, grabbing liquidity below these lows, below this trend line, and then from here give us a very massive move to the upside. I would not be surprised, respecting this demand zone. Okay, I would not be surprised if that happens. Okay, but it's just something for us to keep an eye on. I just wanted to point that out, guys, so that we can keep an eye on it. All right, now moving into the daily time frame, you notice that we have a demand zone in this area. From here, well, let's keep an eye and see what happens. On Friday, the trade candle closed a pin bar, which can suggest a possible reversal for us to start getting some significant retracements, at least in the daily time frame. If that happens, and then from right around here we get any reversals, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short as well, into at least to retest this previous swing lows that we have in this area. Okay, which will also correspond to that trend line area. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Now looking into the 4 hours time frame, what do we have? We also have a supply zone in this area. Let's see how it goes. It depends on how the market behaves. If we get a push into that supply zone area, and then from there any reversals, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside, at least to retest this previous swing low as well. Okay, so that's basically my game plan in Canadian dollar Swiss francs. All right, so next up is New Zealand Canadian dollar. What do we have here? Well, is just the hourly time frame. As you can see here, we had this key level of what I say pretty much resistance that we had in this area of our charts, okay, that finally got broken to the upside, okay, creating this demand zone in the process. So from anywhere right around here, right now price is giving us a swing pullback towards that area. So I would like to see how price behaves, let's say around 0.8750 institutional price level. If from here we begin to get bounced to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. That's going to be a trade I'm going to be keeping an eye on going into next week. Okay, now next up is going to be the British pounds Australian dollar. This is the last but not the least. Zooming into the weekly time frame, now we have a very nice demand zone that is forming on the weekly. Okay, you notice how we had this key level of resistance on our charts, and finally we got a nice break of that level. So now this is a demand zone that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Okay, if we get a push into this area, any reversals from here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. But that being said, remember this is the weekly time frame, so it's probably not something that is going to happen in the upcoming week. Now, looking into the daily time frame, what do we have? In the daily time frame, we have a demand zone. I've been waiting to get in long on this pair, you guys know, for so long now, but price is not pulling back into demand zones. It just continues to push to the upside without getting into the demand zones. Well, again, that's where you have to employ patience and just wait till the market behaves in the way you want it to behave. Okay, all right, so this is the demand zone on the daily time frame. If from here price gives us a dip into this area, any reversals to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. It's that simple. Now going into the 4 hours time frame, we also have a very nice demand zone in here. You can see we had this little consolidation, finally a break to the upside. You can even see that in this candle here, price pushed into that demand zone, and you can see the reaction we got from that area, okay, to the upside. So in my own opinion, I would love to see a swing pullback, a full swing pullback into that particular demand zone in the 4 hours time frame. If we get any reversals from here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. So that's it, guys. That's going to be the end of this particular video. As usual, guys, if you like the content and gain some value from this, please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Click on that notification bell so that you'll always receive updates whenever I make a video. And also don't forget to join the Telegram channel if you'd like to kind of, know the trades that I'm taking or see updated levels that I'm going to be keeping an eye on as the week unfolds. All right, so that's basically it, guys. Cheers, and I wish you all a profitable week ahead. Bye bye.